Welcome to One Life on Earth. My name is Kevin, and today we're going to talk about 9 things to do in Scotland. My friends and I spent a week filming a cinematic video in Scotland, and this is some of the stuff we did and some of the locations we filmed at while we were there. So let's get right into it. Number 1, Kilchurn Castle. In my opinion, this is one of the coolest castles in Scotland because it's publicly owned and not run as like a money-making business like some of the other ones. This one is totally free to go into. It's open 24/7. And you can just go in and totally walk around and tour the entire castle without paying any entrance fees or without waiting in any lines or anything like that. You can also explore the landscape around the castle. And it's also just sitting there in the middle of a field, kind of below some mountains in the wilderness. There's no houses or roads or anything around it, so you kind of get a feel for what it was really like back in the day. Number 2, Castle Stalker. This is also a cool little castle, kind of sitting all alone on an island. This castle was featured in a Monty Python movie. I think it was The Holy Grail. Which reminds me, I really need to rewatch that because I haven't seen it in like 20 years. When we got there, I had this crazy plan that involved us swimming to the castle. It was going to be for part of the film that we were making. Cody and Colin didn't even want to try it because they looked at it and they're just like, no. But me and my brother Michael did attempt to do it, and this is surrounded by ocean water. It's not a lake or anything like that, and the ocean was freezing cold. It was ice cold. So we made it a little less than halfway, and we thought we couldn't make it the whole way without getting hypothermia or just like sinking to the bottom. Number 3, the Storr. I did a whole separate video about the old Man of Storr hike. It's an out of this world hike on crazy alien-like landscape. Super one-of-a-kind place with giant weird obelisk cliffs sticking out all over and beautiful green hiking trails with great views of the ocean and mountains in the distance. And if you're in the Isle of Skye, you definitely need to check this out. Number 4, the Quiraing. I also did a whole separate video on the Kerrang, another absolutely beautiful hiking location up in the Isle of Skye with landscape and views unlike anything I've ever seen on any other continent. A truly spectacular location full of green, grassy, rolling hills, cliffs, caves. It's definitely one of the best locations for photography in the Isle of Skye and in Scotland as a whole. Number 5,
Speed Round.
Glenfinnan Viaduct, a place you can do some very light hiking next to a train bridge thing featured in award-winning movies such as Harry Potter. Did that win any awards? I don't know.
Oh no!
Number 6, Devil's Pulpit. A cool little gully thing you can climb down and hike into, a very strange, weird, but interesting place to visit if you don't mind getting your boots wet. 7, Glencoe Pass, a beautiful stretch of landscape with a road running through it. Probably a great location for some hardcore off-trail adventuring, but sadly we didn't have time, so I just took a picture of Michael standing in the middle of the road. 8, Loch Ness. If you're an American, you can't really visit Scotland without seeing the location where the infamous Loch Ness monster lives, can you? We were there and we didn't see the monster, but we did see a dead chicken in the water, which was weird. One of the most memorable things we did was find really weird camping locations to camp in Scotland, sometimes on a cliff on the edge of the ocean where no one could bother us except for the occasional sheep. And number 10, Glen Etive / the Dalness estate. We drove all the way to the Dalness estate in an area known as Glen Etive, which actually took a really long time and is pretty far out of the way. But as a big-time James Bond fan, I knew I couldn't pass this opportunity up. Glen Etive is basically just a series of very beautiful valleys and mountains and rolling green hills. And the reason I had to go there was because it was one of the filming locations from the movie Skyfall. And this whole area was portrayed to be the childhood home of James Bond. So I thought that was really cool. Make sure to check out the cinematic video that we filmed featuring all these epic locations. I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video. And until next time, I will see you guys later.